Hello everyone, I'm welcoming you all on my channel Dynamics Talk with Akash. Today I'm going to demonstrate you about how we did the GST reconciliations in Business Central Indian localizations. So before we do that, let's understand the basic concept of GST reconciliations, like from where we did the data for doing the reconciliation, what kind of data it is, and what are the fields that we supposed to match while we are doing the reconciliation, right? So first thing first, like your vendor uploaded all their ICs, debit note, credit note, everything in GSTR-1 by 10th of every month for the previous month data in the GSTR-1 report, right? They uploaded the data in portal, and that data includes invoice number, date, GST number, tax, amount, everything, and line wise they uploaded the data. Now, once they uploaded data to the GST portal, that will show on the buyer side as GSTR-2A. But here what happened, like multiple lines become one consolidated lines, and it will show you like, okay, for this, from this supplier, this is what you total amount you buy of the goods, right? You bought the goods, correct? Now when we did the reconciliations, the fields that are basically like your document number, amount, tax amount, your GST number, etc. Now, once if it's everything is matched, right, then you can get the input tax credit. If let's say there is a chance that if it's mismatched, there's something error, and that error could be, they put the wrong data they uploaded, they put the wrong GST number of yours, they like put the wrong date, invoice number, or tax amount in their GSTR-1. So this is what is about GST reconciliation process, correct? Now let's see how we can configure this, how we can do this in Business Central Indian localizations, right? How we do that. Now let's go in Business Central and see how it works. Okay, so I'm here in Business Central now, and here the first thing that we need to configure that called the GST component mapping reconciliations, right? So in order to do that, you need to go to that use tell me icon search button, and you just type GST reconciliation component, GST component mapping reconciliations. Here you can define your component, like what component you want, right? In which order, like, so this is the component that I define here right now, only CGST, SGST, and IGST. You can also, if you want update new, then you can create new, like, and these are lookup coming from the tax component that you are created, right? So here you can import, put custom duty, import, cess, everything that you can do that. Once it's configured, right, once it's created, this mapping field is created, then you are good to go for doing the reconciliations. Now the next step is to go to the GST reconciliation list page. So for that you have the two options. One is either you're going to go directly from GST reconciliation list, like from here, else the other way is to go to India taxation, goods and service tax, periodic activities, GST reconciliation, right? So this is how you can do that, uh, reach to that page. Now the next step is to generate the data. So I'm creating new here on the header part. Like if you see, this screen is look like very familiar, like how we did the bank reconciliation. Similar this screen is, but there is some certain differences. So first thing is, here we put the GST number, our GST number. If you have the multiple GST number in Business Central, like, then you can use in one of them. If you have only like one, or then you can only see the one, right? So I'm using my GST number. Then you need to define for which month you are doing the reconciliation. So I'm defining here May month, and I'm defining year 25, correct, and then posting date. So I'm going to define posting date as, okay. Now once these four fields are important, okay. Now GST reconciliation tolerance. This field is related to if you want to give a tolerance, let's say 1 rupees or 2 rupees, there are differences. If there is a difference that you find during reconciliations, like maybe due to rounding or something, then you can put that and it will consider while you are doing the reconciliations, right? But this is not mandatory. So you can fill the value here. But let's suppose I want to standardize this field. I don't want to my user put it here. So To automate this, like by default, the value if you want to flow in this field, then for that, under general ledger setup, okay, under general ledger setup, tax information fast tab, that's the field GST reconciliation tolerance. So here, whatever you put the value, that value is going to be flow in that particular field, right? So if you want to make it default, you can put that number here, and that automatically, when you just read the reconciliation, by default that value come here. Now once we fill the data here, then you need to click on fill GST reconciliation line, correct? And here you can see now data are coming. So this data, now here the two tab, one is left side, then another is right side. So in left side, data coming from the detailed GST ledger entry for your all the purchases you made for in this period and the previously of that particular period, right? So you can the data will show you coming here from business central itself under the like from the detailed GST ledger entry, whereas right side tab, you will import the data that you have or you downloaded from portal, right? So to download the data, you go to portal, download the data, create fill in the Excel template and go to action, function, and import GST-2A. Once you click it here, by default data will show under this tab. But now the limitation is like what found during my this exercise while I'm doing configure the things, like I use try to play with multiple Excel sheets, multiple formats, but every time I get an error while I'm using this import utility, right? As per the documentation, the required field are for this import is supplier GST number, invoice date, invoice value, taxable value, and the tax amount. These are the important field. This is as per the documentation. So if you have this field and you upload the data, you can the data will show here. But I tried and I couldn't succeed it. If your import functionality is not working, right, then you have other way that you can use configuration package. 281 is this GST reconciliation line table, and 18283 is this table periodic GSTR-2A data that you fill the template, right? Let me show you the template that I have. So I'm opening this one. This is I created. So 18283 table, and the important field in this template is GST number, month, year, document number, document type, supplier GST number, posting date, okay, then taxable value, tax amount, right? Tax amount 1, tax amount 2, and tax amount 3 means your SGST, CGST, and IGST. These are the fields once you uploaded. And make sure document number here is going to be your supplier invoice number, because we are filling the data here from GSTR-1, like from the supplier data, correct? So you update this data and you go to configuration package and import this. The moment you import this, you can see the data like this here. Like I created this for demo, this for this demo. So here you can see now data is uploaded. As I said, there is two way. One is you can use the import utility, but if its import utility is not working, then you can use configuration package to upload the data, right? So once you uploaded the data, we are good to go for the reconciliation. Now, what are the fields are going to be important or giving the priority for doing the reconciliations, right? So we are using matching external document number, right, to vendor invoice number, because external document number of my detailed GST ledger entry is invoice number of my vendor, right? That is the one is going to be give the priority. Then tax amount, IGST, CGST amount. This is going to be the next is matching criteria. Then vendor invoice date, supplier GST number, and document date. These are the fields that are going to be matched while doing the reconciliation, right? Now, when data is imported through configuration package, then you need to click on that match. The moment you put it here, like record size has been reconciled, and you can see record matched, right? Everything is done, completed, right? Based on that priority. If anything is wrong here, then it will give you the error like error found, right? So, and the other weird thing is it's showing the error found, but you cannot see what field or what issue is going to, causing the error. So you need to figure it out manually, compare the file. Okay, what field are match error? Like let's say if date is wrong, your invoice number is wrong, amount is wrong. It could be like these 4 or 5 things. Due to that, it give you the error. Then you need to rectify the data and again, process the data in order to do the reconciliations. Once everything is matched, like your record is matched, then you need to click post. Right, the moment you click on post, so you can see records has been reconciled with the ledger entries. Now once GST reconciliation lines are posted, right, system does not generate any accounting entries. Similar to banking reconciliations, if you post bank reconciliation, there is no accounting entries. So same thing here, it's a reconciliations, there is no financial entries or financial impact going to be happen. Once reconciliation is posted, then under detailed GST ledger entry, right, as we are doing reconciliation for purchases because it's the GSTR-1, and if I would go to here with the field reconciled, and I'm going to put here as yes. So under the GST reconciliation, your field that are updated after reconciliations, the fields are here: reconciliation month, reconciliation year, and reconciled boolean. These three fields are going to be updated once we post the reconciliation. So here you can see, if I would go down, these are the one that I just posted, right? So here these are the ones, once the reconciliation posted, these three fields are going to be updated. Other thing is, once GST reconcile with this status reconciled is posted, these lines are not going to show you again in your reconciliations while you are doing that, right? So these are lines going to be excluded. The lines that are not reconciled, only those lines are coming to in your reconciliation sheet. So this is how you need to do the reconciliation in Indian localization of Business Central. As I said, there is like if I conclude this, there is a issue with import function that I found. There is a other thing is like if it's giving the error, then it's not giving the reason why it's giving the error, right? So you need to figure it out manually, and then once you post it, you're good to go. So I hope you like this content. If you like this, please do share it with Business Central professionals and subscribe my channel. Thank you so much.